Okay, took me a while to get here. A lot's happened. I don't know if I've talked about the fireworks streams, but I had a dream where so this is hard. This is very, 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 very hard because I want to prove I'm a prophet. I'm prophetic over a fraud. But the problem is, one, a lot of miracles have kind of an organic nature to them. So a lot of things will happen where you can say, that was probably coincidence. Totally fine. Totally fine. But at the same time, I need to give them their due diligence, and God does amazing things. Like baby Jesus being born, he didn't do any miracles. It was just baby Jesus. You had to trust. Her name was Miriam, but we say Mary. We have to trust that, if you were during the time, that she was telling the truth. Okay, Miriam isn't a liar, and, the Christ was prophesied, and she says she saw an angel, and then her cousin's husband is like a rabbi. That's a big deal. So before the Sterling concert, I had a dream that kind of felt like within 3 months I would pick out an outfit for a special event. That turned out to be the Sterling concert. Now, a good skeptic can say that's a coincidence. Totally fine. And in science, we like to kind of prove, one thing or the other. A good way to prove things is you make sure every single part of your experiment is a certainty, except for one. So when I heal people, I always ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it? So they can give me a number to think about. Oh, it's an 8. Okay, what is it now? Oh, it's a 7. Okay, what is it now? It's a 6. What is it now? It's a 1. That's a pretty good indicator as long as you assume they're not lying. Now, maybe people are lying. So the good way to test this is you try to heal 100 or 1,000 people. Because eventually you'll either heal a lot of people or you'll heal something very miraculous. Like when I healed metal out of someone's hand, I healed arthritis one time, I healed someone who had nerve damage in his foot, so he felt like his foot was on fire. Etc., 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 etc. So I had a dream where I went in and I grabbed a die. So that felt like kind of like a month or so, and that was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had this other dream with the zigzags. There was like 8 to 12 zigzags. So there's another timeline we're looking at. So that's what's on the forefront right now. I'm trying to remember why I was bringing this up. Oh, so fireworks. So there were those 2 dreams that seems like something is happening, and then the last one I got was like fireworks were going off. And so one of them I was looking up and like fireworks were going off in the sky, and then I looked around the corner and there was like fireworks. It was like a sprinkler. But instead of water, it was like fireworks that were like watering the lawn. Now, I've talked about how when I pray for prophecy, it was like suddenly I was full of prophetic power or prophetic energy, and I could comprehend things in ways I couldn't before. So the spirits that were bothering me, I all of a sudden understood them perfectly. I understood how they were working, what they were doing. And a good way to think about this is if you take a picture, like you print it out from your printer, a picture of your dream, and then you fold that up into a unicorn, like an origami unicorn. If you don't know what origami is, look it up online. But basically you can take a sheet of paper and fold it so it turns into something. A swan, a duck, a flower, a unicorn. And now you have a three-dimensional representation that you can hold and feel of a two-dimensional picture. So there's an objectification of an image. So the fireworks went off, which seems like I'm done with the prophetic training, and now we're moving into prophetic doing. Now it's time to take my ability to do the miraculous and do something cool with it. And so two of the last dreams I had is I asked God how he sees me, and then I asked him how Lindsay would see me potentially. And how God saw me is I was walking up these steps towards heaven, and I was very tired, but I had very good muscles and stamina, and so I was like like marching, like pushing myself to keep going up without quitting. And there was like a picture that was like very angelic, and it was so beautiful, like it almost brought tears to my eyes. It was like a Da Vinci painting, like a Michelangelo painting, but it was like heavenly. So the two-dimensional aspects had three-dimensional qualities. So think about like a picture you can kind of touch. You know, if you were painting a picture of angels and then you used actual feathers for the wings, and then you used lots of feathers so you could actually touch it and it was soft. It'd be kind of like that, but it was like huge, like 80 feet tall. And then I was like, well, that's really cool. How will Lindsay see me? And I looked like Moses, like kind of like a young, handsome man. And I was wearing like this blue robe with a black shirt, and I had a red scarf just kind of hanging over me, like a normal scarf. And then I had a staff, and I had a drink. I had a, what are those pocket canteens called that you keep alcohol in? Flask. I had a flask of like spirits, right? Like a flask of like spiritual water. So a flask of like, you know, what would be vodka or whiskey, but it was just spiritual water of heaven. And I was like holding it up to my lips. I was like, and I was like, oh, that's really cute. That was really fun. It was like cute. And there was like two mountains behind me that I had like crossed through. So anyways, all the work I do with the prophetic energy, I'm going to move to the Jalon channel, because I don't want Hyperlight News just to be me showing up to pray every day. I feel like that's monotonous, and I want Hyperlight News to be more just about lots of stuff, but I don't want it to become monotonous and redundant. And Hyperlight Jalon is for the people who really want to work for Christ, who want to give some of their time or efforts for Christ and for heaven. So yeah, and I just want to mention that here, because I know I did the whole like Teams thing here, but I'm going to move that now to Jalon. But I'll give you updates. I'll say like, hey, this was successful, that is successful, because we need to know what was successful. But if you want to check in where I'm just like praying, like, dear God, we pray for this, we pray for that, we pray for this, pray for that. Dear Lord, I pray for prophetic power, God. Habita, the propheticness, prophetic jutsu. Oh, that is kind of cool. Am I the sage of the six paths? We'll have to ask Naruto. Yeah, so that's going to start. We're going to track what's effective on the Jalon channel. We're going to track what works. I'm going to mention what works here, though, on the Hyperlight News channel. And I just wanted to make this video, so if you're interested, and I'll give a link to the Jalon channel. But it's just Hyperlight Jalon, J-L-O-N. And yeah, I guess that is it. Oh, I didn't want to make a second video about this. I should be working at a VA center in the next 30 to 37 days. So that'll be really exciting. I'm trying to get it set up to where I'm there once a week to pray, and then I'm going to see about bringing a camera, which I've already been given permission to, and then we can, obviously if the person's willing, record actual healings. And so we'll see what happens, and then that'll be pretty cool, because I can work with VA members and also help them with Christ and help them put them in order. And I can also work with PTSD, and apparently, every time I use my gift, it grows. So hopefully we'll get to the point where I can heal missing limbs, and then we can have a really fun time bringing the world back to order, and peace and vitality, and with immense resource gain. So continue to eliminate poverty, have good government, have good structure, have good business, have good winnings for all. But yeah,